Hi everyone. My name is John Turman, aka the Horn Hippie of Horn Hippie Media. I recently came out with this awesome little warm-up, and today I'm going to take you through it step by step. And if you haven't got a copy of this, check the link in my bio and download your copy ASAP. Get that horn out and ready, and let's do this together. I'm so excited. The first section is called Breathing Mobility. Let's turn on the metronome and get this baby started. Okay, metronome's on 60, and we're just gonna do some inhaling and exhaling. And you think about them as like whole notes. So inhale for 4, out for 4. And we'll repeat that 3 times. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. Create a little resistance on the way out. One more. Awesome. So when we're doing these breathing exercises, it's important to breathe as fully as possible. So breathe as deeply as you can, and just breathe in as much as you can, and control on the way out. Just imagine that you're blowing into your mouthpiece, so kind of put your lips together a little bit like that, and create a little bit of resistance on the way out, and that will help get over 4 beats while you're breathing out. All right, so now we're gonna get into the stretching portion, which is very simple, but so good for us. And you can repeat these sections as many times as you'd like. I just have y'all repeat them twice in this example. So first we're gonna do a gentle neck stretch to the left, think up, and then over. Here we go. Breathing in for 4 and out for 4 while doing that. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Again. Think up. And on the way out, we're just getting into that stretch even more. One more time. I'm really feeling a stretch right here in the back. It feels so good. And now let's return to neutral, and let's do the same thing on the other side. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Think up first. One more. And return to neutral. Awesome. That feels so good. Now we're going to extend that upwards with an intercostal muscle stretch. We're going to stretch to the left first. So right side, I like to put my one hand on the waist and then just lift up with the other hand, and really stretching out your lats, stretching out all these muscles on this side. Here we go. So 4 in and 4 out. And we're going to repeat that twice. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Up and over. Right, in again. Get into that stretch. Return to neutral. Let's go to the other side. 2, 3, 4. Stretching up first. Now over. Inhale again. Exhale again. Oh, that feels so good. Just stretching out all the sides here, helping our lungs get all that space. Now we're going to do one of my favorite stretches, just a simple forward fold. I'm going to disappear for a while, but I'll come back, I swear. So let's inhale for 4 and then just go down and get a nice rounded back and breathe into that a couple times. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. And forward fold while exhaling. Breathe in again. And fold down even more. Let's repeat that one more time. One more time. This feels so good. And if this feels really good, just hang out in a forward fold for just a little bit and just stretch out that upper back. and let your neck kind of hang, stretch out the neck, stretch out those vertebrae, or just create a little bit of space there. Oh, it feels so good. Okay, now we're gonna do both arms overhead stretch. I like to do that that Bikram pose where you just connect your hands like this above. On the inhale, stretch as high as you can, and then on the exhale, try to create a little bit of distance between your shoulders and your ears. So let's try that. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Stretch up now, exhale. Same thing again. If you want to go really crazy with this one, breathe in and try to point back and get a front body stretch. Here we go. Let's try that. 2, 3, 4. Breathe in. If you are in your practice room right now, drop some flame emojis. Let's see them go. Okay. So this is exercise number 5 in the Horn Hippie warm-up. It's going to be just focused on breath. And you can do this in a couple different ways. For beginners, I don't really see a point. It's just like getting the airflow going. But if you're a little more advanced and really want to get the maximum benefit from breathing practice, I recommend doing the, make a fin with your hand and put it up, sanitize your hand first. Don't know where those hands have been. Put it up to your mouth. And what you want to create when you inhale is a really loud, low, ripping sound. And create a lot of space in your mouth with just like the shape of your mouth. You want to have that like a really low kind of sound. You don't want to like a vowel. You want a really deep vowel while you breathe in, and that'll help create this really important sound to hear when you're working on breath work. Here we go. Let's try it. We're gonna go in for 2 with a little bit of hand resistance against your mouth, and then out for as long as you can. So here we go. 2, 3, 4. End of the sizzle. Okay, wow, that was intense. Let's do one more, okay? You're gonna breathe in for 2 and then out for as long as you can. Here we go, using that fin to create a little bit of resistance against your mouth. 2, 3, get a low rip. End with a sizzle. No cheating. Oh, all right, wow. Okay. Now that we've done a 2 count inhale, we're going to do a single count inhale and do the same thing. Exhale for as long as possible. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, that was a little bit harder. Definitely a good workout for the breathing mechanics. Let's do one more of those, and then we'll move on to the next section. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, wow, that was great. Now that we've gotten our breathing out of the way, you're gonna need a mouthpiece. We're gonna do some buzzing. This is chapter 2 of the Horn Hippie warm-up. We're gonna start with some really basic mouthpiece buzzing. This is an exercise I like to call the reverse Remy. If you've ever been in a large band class with the Remington long tone study, it's like that exercise. This is the reverse of that. So we're going up by half step. So you go up, let's start on a note and then go up a half step, come back to that note, go up a whole step, minor third, major third, perfect fourth, etc. All that way up to the octave. And what our focus on when we're using mouthpiece work, it's really about the connection between notes. You want to get what string players call a portamento between 2 notes. It's just this concept where you hit every possible instance of a pitch in between 2 notes. Not like a half step, not a quarter tone, everything in between, every acoustical possibility in between 2 notes. So let's just try it out. The first exercise is called the reverse Remy, and this is how it goes. Here we go. Now a whole step. Trying to connect back to that breath and that really efficient breathing that we just worked on in the first chapter. And again, the whole point of doing mouthpiece work is focusing on that connection between your pitches. And by doing that, you'll unlock this other layer of efficiency when you go to put that on the horn. So let's do exercise number 7, which is just a standard Remington long tone study, but on the mouthpiece and in the lower register. I like to start on maybe like around a C or something below the staff. So let's do that real quick. Just make the octave. And there we go. And you don't have to really play these in any time. The only real purpose of these buzzing exercises is, like I said, the flow between the notes. And you just want to get that, just every possible instance of a pitch between each note, or what string players refer to as a portamento. So, exercise number 8 is very important. You got to take 30 seconds off. You got to take a break. What? You got to take a break when you're practicing? Yes, this is an athletic activity. Your muscles need time to recoup. So just take a second and get hyped for a great day of horn playing. Give yourself a positive affirmation. You are a great musician. You're making great sounds, and you're so excited to make some great music. So, all right, when 30 seconds is up, then we're going to do another buzzing exercise. Reset everything, just kind of shake it out. We're going to do just a basic arpeggio exercise. This is number 9 in the Horn Hippie Warmup, and I just put a major arpeggio here that we go through, starting in the lower register and then making the octave. But you can do this using any kind of arpeggio you want. You can do a minor, diminished, augmented, major 7th, all the different kinds of arpeggios that you'd like. So we're just going to do a simple major arpeggio starting on, let's start on F. Let me just check where that is. Oh my gosh. I just dumped a ton of water out just on my chair. I love that. Okay, so that's our reference note. Oh my gosh, wow, there's a lot of water in there. Okay, so just a basic arpeggio. Here we go, up and down. Really listen to make sure that you're getting every possible pitch in between two pitches. All right, that one wasn't as strong at the top, so let's try that again. One more time. Okay, I like that. So now let's move on. Oh, that is so good. I love the sound of buzzing in the morning. Scott, that sweet buzz though. Oh, I just try to be like you. Just try to be like you, Scott. And like Gail Williams too. Gail Williams has probably the best buzz. I mean, that Gail Williams buzz is so strong, it can move mountains. It can break, it like split the Grand Canyon when she buzzed one time, like in Arizona or wherever. So then after we do that exercise, you take another 30-second break, prep your practice space, do like one small thing to make your practice space a little bit cleaner, or oil your valves, make sure your horn's in proper working condition, all that good stuff. We're going to hit our just any orchestral excerpt or any song that you've got in your brain, just turn it into a buzzing exercise. This is a really good way to just keep a little bit of fun in your warm-up, which I always like to do. Pavon. Let's just do Pavon. Easy stuff. Yeah, so we just got through our buzzing section. Now we're going to move on to first notes, next chapter, chapter 3. What you do when you first play on the horn really matters. What I like to do is just focus on getting a really nice, healthy sound, and we're going to turn on our metronome. I just have the note F as a reference point, but you should choose any note that you would like to, and also use this exercise to get into those tricky registers and try out notes that might be a little bit harder for you. So for now, we're just going to do F, focusing on a nice, healthy mezzo forte sound, or mezzo piano sound, and it's a whole note followed by a whole rest, or a half note followed by a half rest. During the half rest, take the horn completely off your face, breathe out and breathe in, place it again on your face, and play the note again, so it feels like a fresh start. Throw down some water emojis if you have water in your horn right now. And so we just have a nice, healthy, gentle sound to start the day. And you repeat that 5 times, choosing a different note each time. And that'll get, that'll hit, you can hit all kinds of registers with that, or you can just do a few in a certain register. It's just, it's kind of a choose your own adventure portion of this warm-up, which I really like, because it makes sure that you don't do the same thing every day. And then we get to one of my absolute favorite exercises, where you try out all these different styles of articulation and just try to make every note super clean, super pretty. And you can do this on any note, really. I like to choose the same note for every instance of an articulation. So let's try this one out. First is an air attack, or a note birth, where timing doesn't really matter. It's just getting that note to form from just your airstream. So you've got F, let's just, You just want to have that little stream of air just like starting the note, and play around with where the note likes to start and where it likes to stop. And just try to ride that wave for a little bit. That's the first one, the note birth. And the second one is an air attack. Repeat it a couple times. Love that exercise. Just a nice mezzo piano. We don't need to do anything too heavy right now. We're still just working on our first notes, our first articulations of the day. So now, move on to a basic T attack. love that. Now, make things a little bit more challenging. We're going to do a K attack. So, like the second syllable in a double time. Taka 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 ka ka ka. That's what we're going to try now. And let's do a different note now. Let's do like D. Oop, that one didn't work so well. So what I'm going to do is work on that even more. I'm going to try to do that 3 to 5 times to my liking and then move on. Okay, we got some good ones in there. So now we'll move on to the B attack. So some people like to call this a P attack. I think it's better to visualize it more as like a b articulation, because with P, whenever I say like, you know, that syllable, it's just so explosive, whereas b is nice and gentle. So let's do a B attack on E flat. Ooh, love that. It's tricky. And so you just want to repeat it enough times to where you say, okay, yeah, I like the sound of that. I like where I'm, you know, where that articulation is happening. So then we do a stopped T attack. And let's go a little higher. Let's go to like C in the staff. Okay, nice. Love that. Now, let's do a loud short note. I'm only going to do one of these because, you know, we got neighbors. So, here we go. Okay, then, after that, you do a soft sustain for, you know, about a whole note. And so on that last one, I got a little bit of like a burr on the front of the note. And so that would also be an instance where I would stop and repeat it several times until that didn't happen, so that we, you know, build up that ratio of good notes over, you know, misses or failures. So then do a balloon swell. So start as soft as you can, go as loud as you can, and then go back to as soft as you can over 3 beats. Let's get into the low register. Let's do a low C. Ooh, it's tricky. It's tricky to maintain a solid pitch without like working on the low register doing these. So let's try it again. You gotta get it a couple more times before moving on. Yeah, I don't want any wavering in the pitch. I want it to be like super, super solid. But let's move on for now. Let's do the reverse of that, where we start loud, go soft, and then loud over 3 beats. As suddenly as possible. This is training your aperture to just be super rock solid. Alright, man, I love balloon swells. So good. Okay, then the last little exercise I put here, I lovingly gave it the name the Paula Kreider, after famous UT band director named Paula Kreider, who basically made us do this exercise in middle school all-region band. I was in like 8th grade. It was so fun. I was like, whoa, that's what a long tone is. So basically, start piano and make a gradual, like steeped, crescendo to fortissimo, and basically change dynamics every single beat. And it takes about 3 whole notes to do this. So let's go back to our nice home bass of F and just try this out. Then go to niente at the end, as soft as you can. Now that we have done our first notes, we've done breathing and mobility, buzzing, and first notes, now we are going to move on to one of my favorite chapters called Get Low. So this is basically where, I think that everyone should work in the low register every day. It's such a healthy place to start your warm-up from because just the airflow feels really good down in that register. Let me just show y'all this page real quick. First, a lot of students I have come in and they're like, oh my gosh, what is that clef? I don't understand. What is a bass clef? So just got you a really nice little key right here that explains it, as simply as possible. And it just kind of lets you practice and figure out the rest. A couple tips. Basically, we're going to do an exercise that's similar to some of the stuff in the singer routine, but it's a little quicker, a little faster paced. Starting on a half note and just descending chromatically step by step and crescendoing to a sforzando on the note that you're going to, and then backing off. So basically a balloon swell into a lower pitch, and you just get progressively lower and lower. Trains your aperture, it builds your sound, builds your embouchure, all that good stuff, and it feels really good. So let's try it. We're just gonna start on a G, that's half note, and crescendo as loud as possible to a sforzando on a G flat, below the staff. And we'll repeat that once, and then we're gonna repeat that pattern going down chromatically step by step. So here we go. This is called 2-note slam. You're going to be using F horn fingers down here. No cheating. I like to use F horn fingers in this register just for warm-up purposes because it's tricky. The notes are unstable. You really got to find those pitches. And if you're on an 8D, good luck to you on that, in this register especially. No. I love my 8D players, for real. Love you guys. And so then everything from this pedal G onwards is, it's a challenge for me. And so what I like to do is I like to back off a little bit on the sforzando. I don't like to go all the way through. I like to sort of maybe top out at just forte on like a, when you get to the second note. And that way I maintain like a consistent sound quality. I don't let anything just kind of like blow up on me. And then still practicing that immediate comeback when you get to the sforzando. So we still are working the same principle, but we're expanding from the point of quality. tricky down here. Okay, let's see if I can get a pedal C today. Let's see. Here it is. I can barely get above a mezzo piano on the D flat. Nope, not today. But you know what? Just practicing in this register a little bit each day, I'm going to be able to hit that by the end of the week. That is the first low horn exercise that I like to do. The second one is essentially the same thing, but we add a note to the front. So just 3 chromatic steps. Just getting it kind of helps the air go like even faster in this register. So starting back on a G. Crescendoing through the second note and really giving a sforzando on that last one. And so on and so forth. And if you're using this to teach out of, I have some useful little just diagrams that I've found to help like my students out over the years. Just like, oh, how do I play in the low horn? It's like, we've got 2 different sets. We got the high set, we got the low set, and what happens when we play low? And I spoke with Jenna and Danielle about this, and they said, they gave me permission to instruct people to do this because, when we play low, our jaw comes down a little bit and out a little bit. And so it's almost like the bottom teeth are the resting point versus like, the top teeth behind the lips. And our mouthpiece angle goes up slightly. Of course, I drew this crudely and just like for the sake of an example, like, oh, you want it going up. You just want the mouthpiece angle a little bit higher so that you can physically get that response from your lips and the mouthpiece and everything working in order. And then of course, like when we play low, I find it for me, that the bottom lip rolls out of the mouth, maybe not roll, but like I, push it out of the bottom of the mouthpiece slightly and have just a little bit wider aperture, just a little bit. And it makes my low range a little bit more strong, a little bit more powerful and easier to manage. We're going to move on to, gosh, I say like every section is my favorite, but it's called flow studies. Applying that buzz, that portamento buzz that we got earlier to actual notes. And we do this on open partials, so 1 valve set or no valves at all, and just focusing on what's between the notes. So I actually was inspired to write this pattern out by Danielle Kuhlman, 4th Horn in Seattle Symphony, who does her path studies just like 1 partial at a time, and you really hear everything between. She like really gets a portamento buzz, and then the next part just pops into place so beautifully. So it's such a good thing to focus on, and it's so basic and easy. It's 2 notes, and the timing doesn't really matter. It's just about what's between the notes. Let's try it out. Just starting an open F horn, C to E, and then back to C. Right? Just, so satisfying. What I'm doing is buzzing as many, instances of pitch as possible between the 2 notes on my mouthpiece. You get that really gooey buzz, and what happens when you do that on the horn actually will pop these partials into place, and you'll get that little like burst when you hit the next partial. When you're doing horn meditations or just basic flow study, you can add partials to the top and bottom. What I like to do, since we have to shift a lot, or like I have to shift a lot to play in my low register, I like to just go up from like middle C, just sort of that like comfy spot. I don't really like to dip down until I'm really, really warm, because you have to think about the buzz between the 2 notes, and you have to think about the shift that's happening too. So you have to like buzz and shift at the same time, which is a little bit complicated. And that's what I do in like this latter half of this chapter, is I have just all those partials starting from low C. And then of course, progressing through the valve combos, on F side. let's try, let's do second valve and do, just add a partial to the top. So going down and then coming right back up out of that, I had a little bit of a resistance. So that's a target area for me to work on to get the pop to really, really happen. So once we've completed that one, then we're just going to keep adding to the top of that. Since we've done second valve, let's go to first valve. And we've done 3 partials up, so now let's go 4 partials up. Then you can either go on or you can repeat that going down through the valve sequence and working in the treble spots. Let me actually see if I can get a common example or a common error. So if I was doing a path exercise and you heard like a bunch of skips, that's a good idea to explain. So that's like a basic path exercise where it's like, well fueled, all that stuff. But when you get skips in the partials, like a big jump and skip, that means that you're not performing the exercise correctly. You need to be hitting every single instance of a harmonic, or every instance of a partial, in order to get just like unlock your maximum flow, unlock your buzz, and really make sure that you're playing in a very healthy way. So I have just, then getting lower, where it's like I start on a low C and then basically do like a bugle exercise at the end. Love those, just getting that full, is it 3 octaves? Yeah, 3 octave range, just on the path. Now the next, another really fun, this is just a fun thing for y'all, scale patterns. So I just wrote down some of my favorite scale patterns, and you can choose. I also have a scale index in the back for, the young and young at heart. If you haven't ever really delved into learning your scales, now's the perfect time. And I included, some basic finger combinations. And if you were on my Instagram story a couple weeks ago, there's a big, a big argument on whether or not A above the staff should be trigger 1, 2, or trigger O, or what we should teach. I mean, the argument for trigger 1, 2 is because we have a lot of trigger O, going up to high C. But I think on my horn it's more in tune that way. But some people find trigger 1 and 2 is nicer. Yeah. I mean, as a high horn player, you don't want to mess too much around. You don't want to throw down too much more than you have to. Okay, so back to scale patterns. So in this section, we've got like the basic, 1 up, 1 down, the BVM special, 1 up, 2 down, 1 up, 2 up, 3 down, 2 up, 1 up, and then I've got, I'm going to pick one. I'm going to pick one of my favorites. So we'll just do C major. I know, boring, right? But this is just a fun little way to warm up your fingers, warm up your brain. Easy, and then you can do the opposite of that. Super fun. Okay, so those are some of the scale exercises. Let's do another one. This is called step up or step out. My tips for these also are to expand them going up, going down, really work out all registers of the horn using this. And these are just basic guidelines for your start of your scale practice. So once you've gone through that, you can do, I don't want to spoil all of these exercises. I want you guys to explore them and have fun. But on the subsequent page, I have, this is my rough draft, so you can see, obviously I made some notes, but there's a tongued scales section. So just like an exercise working single tongue, double tongue, or single tongue, triple tongue, double tongue, triple tongue. And they're very basic. They're nothing too crazy here. But they definitely, there's just so much room for You get to choose your own adventure. Again, here, that's sort of a theme of this warm-up routine, is if you want to add a little bit more on, it's easy to read and easy to just, read up the octave, read down the octave, go into a different key, increase that metronome mark, and just find all kinds of different ways to challenge yourself. And throughout this book, there you'll find some horn hippie tippies. And one of the most important ones, one of my favorite ones, is this one on page, I don't even know, these pages are wrong because it's a rough draft, but test your limits every day, y'all. Test them every day. And then, they won't be limits anymore, All right. So then after that section, just a super, super basic intervals section. So, thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, sevenths, octaves, double octaves on the next page. And then chromatic noodle, fun little chromatic noodle. We've got, actually, this is probably one of my favorite. I do number 40 here every day. I call it above and below. Super easy. Basically, picking any note you want and going up a half step, back to the starting pitch, down a half step, up a major. Oh my god. Up a major second, down a major second, up a minor third, down a minor third, and so on and so forth to complete the pattern. This is what it sounds like. Ending with that double octave there at the end. The one before it is actually from a bassoon player. I just call it chromatic noodle. And this is so funny. When I was in high school, my teacher, Tom Hale, I would go over to his house, and his wife, Daris Hale, she is a bassoon player in the Austin Symphony, Austin Ballet and Opera, and also the bassoon professor at Texas State. And she would say, if you want to go intimidate everyone in an audition room, just play this exercise. It's so crazy to hear it. And it's literally just like going up the chromatic scale, like one note at a time and coming back to the note. So this is what it sounds like. Maybe I can't do it right, but it's if you expand that down and up one octave, I'd be intimidated hearing that. Sheesh. So cool. And then after the interval section, we get to flexibility. I know some of you guys really, really want this section. This is another very important part of your warm-up is, getting between notes, not necessarily in that slow flow, path-minded way, but quick shifts between registers and notes. Of course, I have the lip trill drill right here on the start. One of the most important exercises for any young horn player. I don't know why I like practice this exercise so much, and I eventually found a really nice lip trill. So I'm proud of my lip trilling. And it's just, I worked my tuchus off to get there. And I just did it with this exercise. Right? It's just like, who would have thought just like a super simple like shifting pattern between two notes gradually getting faster would end up with this like beautiful trill. And of course, shifting that down to different partials, that's Eric Rusk style. That's like going down into the low register with this. It is just like a lip flip or another kind of flexibility exercise, just doing it on a different open partial. And things like that. I mean, low lip trilling, what? But very important. The lip trill drill is super basic, but super important, and that's why it's the number one flexibility drill in this warm-up. So then we've got the B-flat breakdown, which is you just hold down trigger and do F in the staff, C below the staff, F below the staff, then back up to F in the staff and repeat that pattern several times. and then work your way down the vowel progression. So. And then you do the opposite. Etc., etc. Love those. You'll hear Jen and I do those on stage all the time. That's one of our favorite flexibility exercises in the Seattle Symphony Horn section. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't shout out Stout with this next exercise, which I can't remember which number it is, but this is always a really fun one to do. And you start, I'll just play it. And then you could go down the vowel sequence. So on and so forth. Love that. And then this one I also love. I just put on in all the flexibility exercises that I love. I call this one the Big Texas 12. Etc., etc. Love that one. And then just do some arpeggios, and I'm not going to spoil the rest of them. You're going to have to download the book for yourself and find out. Then that wraps up the Horn Hippie warm-up. My face feels good. I feel ready to go. I could do more work in this. I could go to a rehearsal. I could start my own practice session with other things. And it took us, it took about like 30 minutes, something like that? I don't know. And I did a lot of talking in between, so you'll be moving through this book much, much quicker. And then at the end here, of course, I have a scale index for those of you that are new to horn scales. We've got our minor scales. We've got our harmonic minor scales, our melodic minor scales, and also, there's markings in my book because it's a rough draft, but all modes and just a couple other different fun scales in the back too for, I didn't write all of them out in every key, so it's going to be another like transposition and fun exercise that way. Anyway, thank you all so much for tuning into this. I had so much fun going through the Horn Hippie warm-up with you. Be sure to download your copy now. Go to hornhippiemedia.com/store, and it's going to be the first thing that pops up. And once you do, tag me when you're warming up. I'd love to see what y'all think of it. And until then, happy horn playing. Bye, y'all.